Peggy 18.
The interesting thing about Far Cry is that it's flexible. I mean, maybe there's an idea that we have all these different Far Crys planned, but the reality is at the end of each Far Cry, we sort of think to ourselves, where do we want to go next? And so a team came to us and basically said, we've got an idea for Far Cry. So they sat us down and they started to talk about the idea of a Far Cry that was primordial, that took place at the beginning of time, the beginning of mankind. And now we have a chance to finally reveal Far Cry Primal. We are super excited about this game.
Hey guys, this is Kasim from Game Previews, and this is Far Cry Primal.
Palu Mansepa, Winja Dwashala, Tusama, Winja Urus Waidarsh, Guifa Haplaha, Winjai Damsha, Mabaya.
Far Cry Primal is a new direction for the already established Far Cry series. So like its predecessors, it's still a first-person melee action-adventure video game, but unlike its predecessors, Primal goes way back in time. So Primal is set right after the Ice Age. You take control of a hunter by the name of Takar, who is looking for his tribe after they had been scattered while they were under attack. So basically think about something similar to the Revenant. Throughout the game, you have to brave the elements you'd expect to encounter during these times to survive. During the course of the main stories, you'll learn several different skills in order to handle whatever is out there in the world.
If you go and do the main missions, you're going to encounter a new specialist that will provide you with new skills and knowledge that will get you stronger.
So for the developers for Far Cry, authenticity was a major point of emphasis. That's why in this game, not only do you have to worry about other tribes for killing you, but also about the animals themselves. So sticking on the topic of authenticity, Far Cry Primal's language system is based on Proto-Indo-European language. So this language is one of the oldest languages in human history, and because of that, the Far Cry team actually had to speak to experts in order to properly authenticate the language within the game.
So Proto-Indo-European was a language that was spoken thousands of years ago. It's the source of many languages that are spoken today, languages like English and Spanish and Russian, but also the source of ancient languages like Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. For Winja, what we wanted to do was to create a Proto-Indo-European, something that goes even further back in time. So we looked at certain very ancient features of Proto-Indo-European, and we assumed them to be the baseline for not only the Wenja tribe, but also the Udam.
So as we just saw with the video, there are different tribes within this game. So they mentioned the Wenja tribe and the Udam tribe, and these tribes are much more ancient compared to the Azella tribe. And because of this, the language will vary between all the tribes based on how advanced they are. So the developers of Far Cry also had to collaborate with experts on prehistoric animals in order to authentically replicate their movements for the game. So the experts used the bones of these animals to deduce how the animals may have moved in real life, and then the Far Cry team was able to animate from there. So obviously animals were a big part during Far Cry Primal's development. So in Far Cry Primal, you can interact with a lot of different animals. This feature is called the Beast Master System. So this companion system allows you to interact with different animals for different abilities. These animals include the owl, the wolf, the jaguar, and the bear. So the owl can give you a bird's eye view approach to enemies in a smart manner, and it can also attack them from high above. It also gives you a chance to strategically plan your attack and also look for plants and herbs. The wolf, on the other hand, is able to detect nearby enemies, so whenever it starts growling, you know there's enemies around. The jaguar is a specialist in stealth. It stays low to the ground and tries to attack other humans. It's important to note that jaguars only attack other humans and not animals, and they're best in areas where they can camouflage. And then finally we have the bear. The bear is the opposite of the jaguar, which means the bear is all about brute force and just running in and trying to get people killed. So bears are known to take large amounts of damage and are best utilized in open areas. So on top of all this, you'll be able to ride a lot of different animals to get from point A to point B. So these include the animals that I've already mentioned, some of them, and then also other animals like the mammoths and the saber-toothed tigers. Now moving on to weapons. Weapons in this game are primitive, which means no guns or tanks. Far Cry Primal is trying to be based on a crafting system, which means you need to scavenge areas around the map within the world to create weapons. So these weapons include the bows, throwables, which are just primitive versions of bombs, clubs, and spears. It's also important to note that there are progressions to these weapons, meaning you can upgrade them over time to make them more powerful. Now, for as much as Far Cry Primal tries to be authentic, the dev team also explains that certain aspects of the game needed to be stretched from reality. And this makes sense because this is a video game after all. So they said that the Beastmaster feature, although it was based off of historically accurate stuff, which means that humans were able to tame other animals like wolves, the idea of petting a saber-toothed tiger or commanding a cave bear to go attack other people or making an owl communicate with other animals was just not done in prehistoric times, and it was just a fabrication based on the idea that prehistoric people were able to tame certain animals like wolves. So the more we see this game, the more criticisms come up of it being just a stripped down version of Far Cry 4. And although I can't comment on this because I haven't played this game, I hope this preview has given you some perspective on what Far Cry Primal is trying to be, which is Ubisoft is taking a new direction for the Far Cry series with the implementation of weapons other than guns, transportation other than cars, and the goal of recreating a proto-Indo-European time that is both authentic and fun for players. So this game launches on February 23rd on PS4 and Xbox One, and March 1st on PC. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Kasim of Game Previews, and if you want to see more game previews for upcoming games, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. For the final word on Far Cry Primal, though, I will let the team themselves take it away. Alright guys, thanks. Bye.
I think it's going to be a very exotic journey, but it's still a Far Cry at core. So I don't know. I think they're going to be excited to have a new playground that feels so fresh and new, and where every step could lead you to a new discovery that you were not expecting.